Good afternoon. Thank you, Pastor Venden, for allowing us to come into your church and to spread this news. We don't take that lightly, and we're very thankful. Thank you, Patty, for standing in our backs and, getting this going. We're grateful that you're here. We have a lot to discuss, and I hope that what we give to you today will help you feel more confident in step-by-step preparing for the things that would be good for you, because we can't do it overnight. It takes time. I have been prepping since I started becoming a Seventh-day Adventist in 2004. And I started little by little by little. I took classes. I started gardening. I started preparing foods. I started doing things to where I wouldn't ask you to do something that I haven't already done, but I've done this over the years. And the clock really is ticking. And so that's why we've decided to really push and rally for you. As I was getting ready to do this, I was in tears. And I was like, Lord, why am I in tears? Because so many people don't understand, and the clock is ticking, and things are still moving on regardless of what we're doing. And so as we give this talk today, I pray that you have open eyes, an open heart, and open ears to hear. This is your life. Let's start. In the Bible, it says, a sinful nation of people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers. I'm in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 4. That are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are all gone away backwards. And we can see the things going on in this world. It's a little bit wonky, more so than ever. Why should you be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick. The whole heart is faint. I believe that we are in a position ourselves to be prepared today for future. I want you to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. We want to prepare and not be scared, don't we? We do. And so there are many ways of creating a way to get ready, and I am absolutely not accustomed to not studying and looking at other people's information. So I know on social media this book has gone viral, and it's called The Navy SEALs Bug-In Guide. I would recommend getting this because it talks about the things that I'm going to talk about, and it gives you food storage, and it gives you how much to actually get for your family, what your body needs, how much you should acquire. Very good stuff. How to store water. This is a great book because not everybody, as Pastor Venden has said, will be able to leave the city. So we want you to be ready where you are today, bugging in where you're at, basically, preparing where you're at. I have a friend, his name is John Singh, and he was in Los Angeles at the fires. And he had wrote daily about what was going on. And I want to read some of his writings that he posted on Facebook. And I hope that when I read this, it will open up your eyes to what is a possibility. Today marks the beginning of day 5 of these relentless, unforgiving brush fires. 5 monstrosity infernos encircle us, their fiery tendrils creeping closer, devouring everything in their path. Last night, just as hope flickered like a dying ember, the winds rose with vengeance, howling their wrath and shifting east toward 405. Now the Getty Center Museum stands under siege. Its priceless treasures as the mercy of nature fury, and more families, more lives stand on the brink of losing everything. Our home teeters on the edge of danger, one fragile zone away from mandatory evacuation. The nights are suffocating dark, the power is long gone, and the silence is shattered by ceaseless thrums of the helicopter circling above. Their presence feels ominous, as though we are caught in the chaos of a battlefield. The sound of military-grade choppers overhead only deepens the eerie sense of war. A war not only against the raging flames, but a war against the winds, the looters, and the ever-present threats of the arsonists. I sit fully dressed in military gear, my weapon within my reach, ready to defend what we have worked so hard to acquire from anyone who dares to invade our small, tightly knit community of fewer than 20 homes. It is this desperate time that we've band together, taking turns patrolling the freezing nights, our breath clouding the air as we watch and we wait. The bitter cold claws at our resolve, making the endless hours even harder to bear. Today I need more gas as the generators, those temporary lifelines tethering us to some semblance of normalcy. How I curse my procrastination, my failure to invest in generator before the night began. Instead, we rely on our feeble portable ones and use our cars to charge our cell phones. Standing guard on the night stretch, endless before us. We cling to efficiency or where we can, rationally power for small bar refrigerators to preserve our food. Every task feels like a battle. Every hour an eternity, and now we embrace ourselves to what comes. The weekend brings promise of heavier winds battering us, and yet another cruel twist of fate. The news predicts these winds will rage Wednesday. Today is only Saturday. 4 more days in this living hell. 4 more days of terror, cold, and despair. Each moment crawls by endless and merciless as we wait what the winds and fate will bring. We can look at what a black swan event is. Does anybody know what that is? No. A black swan event is an event that happens right away, and then it's life-changing, and then it completely changes the trajectory of life going in a path that it went before. And we can see the fires in LA did that to those people that were living that. And that is why I read that. We know that more and more things are going to happen because the Bible tells us that. We're not oblivious to what's going on. We just want to be prepared. And it takes our mental status to get there. We can't be completely paranoid of what's going on, but we can be prepared. And that is why I'm going to share everything I have today. I wrote this book. It's called The Demise of the City, Off-Grid Living in Fast-Changing Times. It's the book that the pastor spoke about. And if you write this down for the next 2 days, I have taken my Kindle and made it free for you for 2 days to read it or to download it. So if you would please write that down, The Demise of the City, Off-Grid Living in Fast-Changing Times by Rhonda Beyreis. This is a gift to you. It costs you nothing to read it. It's very easy reading. You can read it in a day and a half or less, but I want to share some things with you. Though I do not love, the closer we get to the end of time, the more horrific the sinister acts of society are brewing. People do not want to believe that prophetic things are happening all around them. I hear people say, things are going to go back to normal. The government will save us. Who needs it? Just make it stop and make everything go back to what it was. We could see people saying these things during COVID, can't we? It brings back those memories. This is called normalcy bias. Normalcy bias becomes amplified in troubled times and in populations where people or groups live in the minimal level of discomfort and resistance to the current realities. The more minor the discomfort, the higher the level of normalcy bias one portrays. We are getting ready to see things we've never seen, and we don't want people to just look for the government, look for somebody else to help it, stick our heads in the sand. That's not going to get it. That's not going to cut it. So I want you to take the time to get this book and read it. It's free on Kindle for the next 2 days, today and tomorrow. I am so thankful that you're here. I have more that I'm going to walk around. So here we go. Let's get reduced. Is that better? It's good. Thank you. Long empty shelves, bare, metal, or wood. In the unusual sight in the supermarket, likely you've ever seen before it happen once or twice, and we've seen the empty shelves during COVID. I think COVID was a good wake-up call for everyone. It was like dress rehearsal from what's coming. The answer when people can't buy anything and they run out of food is panic. Panic. And when people panic buy, everything disappears. Each one of us have the opportunity to go pick up something extra every time that we go to the grocery store. Whether it's soap, whether it's extra can of food, whether it's something that you'll barter and trade, because barter and trade is going to be the way of money in the future. So I buy things that I know that other people would want, that I wouldn't want, that I can barter and trade because I don't know who I'm going to run into and what their needs are. What do you think a person would do if they've got a screaming kid and they need to feed that child? What do you think they would do? Whatever it took to help their family member. People are going to be in panic mode and they're going to be in a situation where they're not going to know exactly what to do, but panic and they freak out. We're used to everything in this country at our fingertips. Everything you want. And it's amazing to me that people spend a lot of money on silly things. Extra high heel shoes. Look at my handbag. Oh, I'm going out to dinner tonight. All this stuff. And you think about it, when you go out to dinner for a family of, say, where's that? For your family, let's say your family here, it probably costs $100 or more, where you could take that same $100 and make 4 meals. But people don't think of it that way. We're so busy getting and going and getting and going. And it's hard if you don't step out of the situation and look about what's going on. You need to do that. Get out of what's going on, look through the picture and look and see what's happening, because it's happening to you. It's happening to you. There are 5 reasons to be prepared. Sudden disaster. Help will not always be available when you need it. The consequences of not being prepared are worse than those of over-preparing. Oh, no. Preparing doesn't cost a lot and can be spread over a period of time. And it's helpful to have some extra supplies around in the day-to-day life. Things are getting more expensive because we got now tariffs, right? So they're doing the tariffs, and the people that are going to be kind of taking the brunt end of that is going to be the people. And so, and I look at cinnamon. I knew cinnamon was going to be something that probably is going to be harder to get because it comes from overseas. And when something comes from overseas, you're going to pay a tariff, you're going to pay, they might not send it to us because it's coming from a country. I'm a Canadian, and my Canadian family, they're boycotting everything from America. There's sites up right now. They're trying to get me in on these sites to see what they're doing. They are boycotting American products. They go to the stores and they won't buy it. So there's just a lot of different things. The mindset of people is so different than when it was in the 50s or the 60s. It's incredible. So I want you to start today, little by little. Can you commit to that? Who can commit to starting today a little by little? Because you need to, little by little. You don't want to go out and eat out all the time when you can spend that money buying something that you need. They say that the middle class will eat themselves to poverty because they're so used to running and getting whatever they want, whenever they want. So let's talk about the C's, the threes, the rule of 3. We've got 3 seconds to find hope in a disaster. What are we going to do? Oh my gosh, am I going to be out of my mind, or I'm going to be on cue? What am I going to do? We've got 3 seconds to pull it together. The world around us, you're changing suddenly and your mind freezes. It has no similar reverence to draw the information as how to react at this lack of information because of the behalf, much like a computer would. It immobilizes the body for a few seconds, and these few seconds are crucial to survival, because they are the point where you will have to decide that you will do what you will do to have hope and can move to survive. And many people give up in this moment. They just freeze. They freak out. So it's a mindset. It's your mind. 3 minutes of air. Most people can't even last long holding their breath. If you ever are in a scary situation of having no immediate oxygen underwater or face covered, your body's survival instinct will kick in and get you to the air that you can breathe. What most people forget about is future oxygen. in cases of being trapped underwater, collapsed buildings, or other indifferent things between life and death, NASA estimates a person requires 84 kilograms of oxygen a day. In most circumstances, 1 meter of oxygen will last one person a bit over 8 hours. Keeping your activity as low as possible, or better yet, sleeping, will reduce the amount of oxygen you need. Remember that before you help others, right? Our oxygen mask first, you need to help yourself. Before you can help somebody else, you need to help yourself. We got 3 weeks to find food. Your body needs food within 3 weeks. And in that 3 weeks, you could be hallucinating or doing all sorts of stuff, but you can go without food for 3 weeks. You can go 3 months without companionship. God made us beings to be with one another. If you're all lost out inside somewhere where you don't know where you're going and you're all by yourself, your whole mind changes. Your attitude changes, your body changes, your temperature changes, your oxygen levels, everything changes. We need each other. So may I ask you to please get to know your neighbors. I lived in an environment, and I lived in Phoenix, in a neighborhood in Phoenix, South Phoenix, where it was a bunch of little horse properties, and we all knew our neighbors. We actually had each other's back. We knew when someone didn't belong in our neighborhood came through, and we knew when something was going on in our neighborhood. We had an email list where we all communicated and connected. We knew exactly what was going on in our neighborhood. I would suggest, if you have a neighborhood with irrigation, maybe start a garden, a community garden. Maybe do something. We used to have lawnmower races on the 4th of July to get everybody together. And then during the holidays, we would have an animal parade. We'd parade our animals down and put up luminary bags so we would stay connected. We knew our neighbors. Hey, how's it going today? What are you up to? We didn't run away from our neighbors. And if you don't know your neighbors, you really need to get your neighbors. You cannot do this by yourself.
30 seconds.
Da, da, da. Thank you. I'm going to carry this over there.
Just go ahead and get it right close.
Okay, good, good, good. Thank you. I'm going to actually walk with it over there now. We're good. So I'm going to take you down memory lane. Me and my buddy here. Come on, little buddy. How many people will tell me that they have no place to store anything? I have no place to store anything. How can I be like that person and get all that stuff? Does any of you ever hear that? There's no place to put it. Okay, so I have these suitcases right here. These 2 suitcases brought this stuff here, minus the generators and this right here. And this box brought my giveaways. Suitcases. How many people have a suitcase? Right? Everybody's got a suitcase. We can store our stuff that we need in a suitcase. If you're bugging in and staying in the city, then guess what? This is your friend. And if you decide to go on a trip, dump it on your bed, go on your trip, come back and put your stuff in. That'll give you a good idea what you do and don't have. Because we need to rotate our stuff and make sure our stuff is making what it needs to do. Because things change from time to time. So use your suitcases. It's just empty space, doing nothing, clogging up your closet. So let's utilize what we have. I want to talk about water. Who uses Facebook Marketplace? Okay, we got 1 person, 2, 4, 5. Say Facebook Marketplace, you can buy these barrels if you have a garage, this big, and store water. This barrel my husband bought new because I couldn't haul one in my Jeep, a little big, to bring everything. So he bought this in the city and it was quite expensive, but on Facebook Marketplace, you can buy them for $20 to $25. So, and they're used, you just want to make sure they're blue food grade and you're good to go. It's really important that you have water because we can only live 3 days without water. And what would you do to protect this water? You would use a treatment. This is Aquamira and it gets rid of algae and things like that. You want to use the blue because it helps protect the water, but these you can buy at REI, you can buy at Dick's, you can buy all over the place. It's Aquamira and it helps protect your water from algae. Okay. This little ditty, I can't believe they allowed me to buy this online, but they did. You people probably don't know, but at one time I was in survival mode and I had to do things in the city and figure out how to exist because I was homeless once. And one of the things that I would notice that when you go to place to place, if they didn't want you to use the water, they would take the faucet things off so you couldn't use the water. But you can buy a water key that will turn the faucet back on, and you can order this off of Amazon, and it's a water key. They come in separate sizes, but I'm gonna tell you what, when you go to your local whatever and you need water and you're in a desperate situation, it is really important to have a water key, and you can buy them. They come in 2 different sizes, and they weren't very expensive, so you might wanna write that down, a water key, because this will keep you hydrated. It will also give you an opportunity to wash your face, give your kids some water, do whatever you need to do, but these water keys will be life-changing, trust me. When you're talking about water, storing extra water like this bottle is really weak because it's been out in a garage or somewhere. This is really flimsy, so we know that the water in this is probably not gonna last a really, really, really long time because everything about it is a little wonky. So you can get different types of sizes of water jugs. So you Google that, you'll find different ones that you can do, which will store things. And when I talk about storing water, I am notorious. Sometimes my guests think I'm nuts, but I use these bottles and I put bleach water on here because if I run out of water, I have well water, so I'm blessed, but if something happens and I don't have water, I have extra water that I'm storing in these. This has bleach in it on purpose, so it's bleach water, right? So I can use it for cleaning. I've got this, which is vinegar. It's a vinegar bottle, so I can use that vinegar bottle for potable water, water that I can cook with, water that I can drink, whatever. So this is good water, right? We eat vinegar, so no big deal to have that in there. And I also use my soap bottles. I reuse them, and I've got a shed with all these little things in there. And then when my power goes out or something silly, I don't have enough solar, then I have water. I'm like no different than anybody else. I have water, and I keep my water going. You can get the water straws, and I would encourage that. Can you draw somebody, Jim? Draw a number. This, I'm gonna give this away. This is something you can go right up into anything and drink through it, and this will actually be 99% pure. It's called a water straw, and I'd like to give this away. So Jim's gonna bring a ticket up. Who is it? Were we supposed to? You were. If you haven't given your ticket to Mr. Jim, please do so. Here, you put your glasses on. Okay, thanks. Gabe Romero. Here, Jim. It's Gabe. Thank you. All right, so thank you for coming, Gabe, and helping us out. I went to the thrift store yesterday. The thrift store is your friend. How many seniors are in here? I'm Senior Tuesday. We can get our 10%, and if you have Goodwill, you can sign up for a Goodwill thing that comes in your email every month. It will give you 20% off, and if you're a senior like I am, we get Senior Day 25% off. Yesterday I went to, and I bought this as a miniature ricer. This will do a potato smasher. When the power goes out, you don't have stuff, there's gonna be going back in time. We're going backwards as we move forward, trust me. I bought an 8-liter. You know, these are the things we used when we were kids. And now all we've got these fancy dancy machines, but we're going back in time, and I want you to remember to start looking for things that your grandparents had, because those are the things that are gonna be a blessing to you in the beginning. So I'm gonna just go here and I'm just gonna talk about food. I am on schedule. This I bought at a thrift store. I love thrift stores because people throw away stuff. When grandma and grandpa go away, or they throw stuff in the thrift stores. This is a grinder, okay? And it's a great grinder because it's got a big old motor on it, but it also has a crank for when the power goes out. I have a crank in here. And so when you buy flour or make bread or you're getting flour, you get it from wheat berries. So white wheat berries is your pastry flour. Red wheat berries is for your bread. And if you can't get flour, storing flour is a little tricky. I'll give you a 10 pounds of flour to half a cup of diatomaceous earth will keep your flour from having any pests in it. But before you put that together, you want to wrap your flour in plastic and freeze it for at least 3 days, and that will kill anything that's in it, because if you got a bag of flour and you puff it, poof, they're not sealed, so eventually it's going to turn on you. So you want to freeze it, then in plastic, then bring it back out, and then put it in a container where you can put half a cup of diatomaceous earth to 10 pounds of flour, and that will completely help you out. Put it in a sealed bag. That will help you preserve flour. Food grade diatomaceous earth, thank you. Beans last a long time. I'm notorious for using my, what is that thing I use? Some kind of ninja thing. And it's I just went blank. Anyway, cooking the beans up and then grinding them up and then putting them on a dehydrator sheet. So I have bean powder. If you ever go out hiking and they sell bean powder, there's a reason you don't have to cook it. You just add a little bit of water and you got beans. So that's a good way to store your beans. Rice is always good to have. Your body needs salt. Your body needs salt. And so it's really good to go out and get salt. If you've noticed salt, not that white weird stuff that you get with the little Morton's thing. I'm not talking that kind of salt. I use that to kill weeds. But I'm talking a good salt. And to use a good salt, it's important that you have that, because your body's going to need it. And you're going to get baking, cooking, seasoning, and all that stuff. Canned goods are amazing to have. They have to, by law, put a stamp on it that says it's going to be bad, blah, blah, blah. But beans don't really go bad. Your canned vegetables, unless if the can is dented, use it ASAP. But if it's not dented and it doesn't bloat, then your beans are no longer than the desired expiration date. I am a canner. These are beets that I grew. Can you do 2 more drawings, Jim? Thanks. So I'm going to give these beets away. I have a garden. We have greenhouses. We have things up on our property that I am constantly, the kitchen really is my passion, but survival is second, right? So I am loving doing things in the kitchen. And so I have canned these beets. They're pickled beets. And these are going to go to, what's it? They're in your pocket. Cindy Page. Oh, perfect. Jim, can you hand that to her, please? And I need 2 more. 2 more tickets, please, Mr. Beyreis. So I also have beets that I grew, and so I want to give those beets away too. So do 2. Joe Hayashi. Give it to him. And then 1 more ticket. Come on, somebody. Pull a ticket. Del Stellars. All right. Those we grew, and we're happy that you got those. So let's talk about different things that I have. We have, I grew this onion so Jim can draw. Jim, Mr. Beyreis. We're giving stuff away. This is my giveaway table, so please come back. Thank you. Just stand here. Okay, so I have chickens. Who eats eggs? Hallelujah. I got real eggs and I got real chickens. What's the name? Can you help me out? Kiwi? I have no idea who that is.
I mean, the number on the back.
Let's read the number. Yeah, I don't know what that says. 2446725. Just hold on.
On the back is the number.
Oh, good. Let me hand that to her. Here, hold this. Thanks. Just hold up. Just kidding. Surprise. Okay, so I'm really into freeze drying. That's another thing that I do, and I absolutely love it. A machine like that can do things that a dehydrator can't do. And I have done ice cream bars. I've done macaroni and cheese. I've done all sorts of stuff. I've done avocados. And so I'm just going to draw a ticket. And it is Vivian Ogden. Take her down. Give me a ticket. Ticket. Thank you. Okay, and I've got macaroni and cheese for Diane.
She ran, put hers in there.
I've got pineapple. This is dehydrated pineapple. This is for David War. David War. Oh, I only have 10 minutes left. And then I've got Mary Beardsley for some dehydrated Marsala Jack and fruit. Mary Beardsley? You'll have to pick it up, Jim. Okay, so let's talk about bread making. How many things are in bread when you buy it at the store? How many? Mary Beardsley. I don't know who that is. Lots, right? So I gave you a bread recipe in your packet that has 4 ingredients. Flour, salt, yeast, and water. Simple bread making recipe. You put it together and with a spoon in a bowl. You don't have to sit there and knead it to death. You put it in this, you mix it with the bowl, wrap it over with some saran wrap, let it sit, rise, pull it back out, knead it a little bit in some flour, and then put it in a Dutch oven and cook it. That is your recipe that you have there. I have 3 loaves of bread that I made. Linda Abita gets 1. Oh, yay. You're welcome. If you could bring this. Christy P gets 1.
I will take some of this out so it's not so heavy for you.
Just stay over here and help me. Thanks. And yeah, because you're gonna need to draw tickets. Can you do that? Here. Stay here. Get your glasses on. We've got Apostle Harry. Come on, Harry, come and get it. You'll have to come over here and get it. Here. Thank you. Just set it down, that's fine. Okay, so this is a Dutch oven. I would like to talk about this. What is a Dutch oven for everyone? It's something that you put in, it's cast iron and you put a lid on it. I bought this Dutch oven. The reason that my bread isn't round and it's like a loaf of bread is because I use this, and it's called the Loaf Nest, and you can order them online. And I find it probably the most amazing thing that you can actually purchase for bread. Another thing we need to think about is how are you going to give yourself hygiene, medicine, different things like that. And so when I go to the hotels, I always save these things. I'm notorious for this. But now with the new hotels, guess what? They don't have these anymore. So you can find these things actually at the thrift store, in the bag section, hanging up on a J-hook. That's where you're gonna find these things. They say when people back in the World War II, the things that they missed the most was hygiene things. What are you ladies gonna think about when you don't have a way to clean yourself or do something? It's gonna be tragic. And we're gonna be like people that have no idea how they got in that situation. Things have happened and now here we are. We look like homeless people. We smell and we're this and we're that. It's time to start getting those things now, and those little bars of soap that you buy or anything like that is something that will be a blessing to you. I have up here a lice kit. You guys got kids, right? Dirty kids, dirty things that happen. People that are homeless, anybody, it can happen to you. You might want to get yourself some of these, because when things are not like they used to be, this is something that could be good for you, so that you're not only helping yourself, but you don't have an infestation in your camp, because we don't want to be by ourselves. So there's a whole bunch of things up here, but then I'm going to talk about, there's a puzzle, games, board games, card games, Uno, anything like that. All these type of games that people throw away, you see them all over the place. These are good things to pick up, because if you don't have your little kids playing on their little computers because there's no internet, things have gone away. We need to go back when we were kids. We enjoyed doing things like this. We enjoyed the games, the board games, going out and play. What if you can't go out and play and your neighborhood's a disaster? What are you going to do with your little guys? What are you going to do with yourself? When things get arrayed, people's minds get crazy, and they do crazy things. Daniel, are you there? This is a rapid radio. My friend Daniel is 300 miles away from me. He has one of these on my circuit. Daniel, come over. He'll talk in a minute. This is another radio, which is a UV, it's an EMR radio that you can use. You can buy these. It's like a little mini ham radio. Ham radios are a good way to do things because when the grid goes down and everything's different, having a rapid radio, which is great. Daniel, can you hear me? Having one of these.
You don't have to put this on until.
This is a radio that only gives you the weather, and it's one of those things that they were. We can hear you, Daniel. How far away are you from me?
What's your 20 right now?
I'm in the middle of Phoenix. Are you kidding?
And we're approximately 225 miles apart. I'm out in the middle of the woods up here east of Sholo.
10-4 out. So these work really clear, right? I bought 4 of them. They were on sale during the holidays, and these things actually, he was in Albuquerque, I was at the ranch, or I was going through the areas to get to my place where there was absolutely zero cell service, and I could talk just fine to people on those radios. When you are sitting in a situation with your family, you need to be able to communicate with your family. It's vital, vital. And when I talk about that in my book, I talk about how you need to have separate meeting places, and if you can't get there, then you need to get to the next meeting place, because we don't know what's coming. If you remember as children, we used to have those fire drills or tornado drills, depending on where you lived, and everybody had a plan, and then the family had a plan, and we were planning. Planning is so important, I can't even explain that to you, in your little network. If you have to leave the city and things go awry, or you need to move your location, because looters are coming down the road, and they are coming, and they've got guns, and they're doing bad things, and you need to pick up and move your location, you better make sure that mom isn't the one with all the stuff on her back. Because men, we're used to having mom carry all the bags and the kids, and everybody's doing everything, and guys are just hanging out. Everybody needs to have their own bag. Little girl needs to have her bag with her stuff in it, so does this little boy, so does mom, so does dad. Grandpa needs to have his stuff in order. We need to get it together here, people. We don't know what's coming down the pipeline, but we know something's coming. And I thank the Lord that He put something different inside of me to start investigating and looking at what's out there. I have so many different things I could talk about, but I believe I still have, my time is over. Miss B, I'm going to talk about the clothing. So we are, as women, look at your shoes. We're all programmed to wear cute little sandals and high heels, and we got to be cute, because that's who we are. And so when something happens and you've got to kind of move, you need to get some real shoes. You can earn in these things. Ain't going to happen for you. But yours are good. But we do have programmed to be cute. And then we should be carrying things like this in our cars, right? Because you have a car, you're going somewhere all the time. You need to have something in your arsenal that is going to save you in case you have to do some footwork. Because if stuff goes away, the streets are going to be kind of clogged, right? And maybe you're going to have to be stuck in traffic, and now people have run out of gas, and all of a sudden you're in a gridlock, and you can't go anywhere. You need your shoes to be working for you. If you don't have tennis shoes, and depending on what's going on, then do yourself a favor and get some boots. I don't care what it is, but you need something on your feet that's going to work for you. I also recommend having gloves. I recommend having a hat. something to where you're covering yourself, gloves if you have to do something out in the middle of climbing or whatever. You need to get your stuff together. Put it in your car. Men, same thing. Straps if you have to tie stuff down or do whatever. We need to be prepared because we don't know what's happening. And the one thing I can tell you is, if you see people looting down your street and you see stuff coming towards your house, it would behoove you to get out and make your house look like it's been looted through and throw stuff on your yard and make it look a disaster, so it already looks like you've been picked over. You know, you're working with people that are desperate, and they're doing things for themselves because they don't know what to do at the expense of other people. So I want you to be ready. I want you to be prepared. And I want you to think outside the box. Before I go, this is a thing that's in your paper, and this will tell you how to get your documents ready. This document paper in a box that is fireproof, put it away with all your documents in it, will give you the upper hand. Because if you, like the people in California, had to put their horses or their dogs or whatever into shelters or any place, they had to have their documentation papers. Do you have your stuff in order? Do you have your marriage license, birth certificates, passports, car insurance, house insurance, medical records? Do you have your employee records, tax returns, driver's license, social security cards where you know where they're at? How about your backup IDs? Any medical history, credit cards, concealed carry license, titles, deeds, anything that proves that you have or are or do or who you are. Because when everything goes to chaos, these things are vital to say that you're who you are, so they don't shuttle you off into some place of a holding place. No, this is my home. No, these are my papers. No, this is mine. Because nothing is guaranteed, and people are going to be shuttled around, and you want to be ready, prepared.
Rhonda, I also would recommend scanning copies of this and put it on your thumb drive.
Scanning copies and putting it on a thumb drive so you have it at your expense. Thank you. So I have gas masks and safety suits. The reason I have that is because when I come into the city, I honestly think in the city, one way that they're going to kind of do things might be a little off. Stuff back from the 60s and the wars, they might use things that are different. I'm going to give away this mask before I go. I bought this mask at a thrift store, okay? The canister's probably not good, but the mask is exactly like the ones that I purchased, so you'll have to get your own canister, do your own work. But I'm gonna give this away. They're exactly the same, and I'm gonna do a drawing for that. Here, Jim. Everybody's laughing. Kenneth Downs, Davies or Downs, perfect. Oops. Please get your seeds, please start a garden, please get your stuff in order. You're your own gardener, food provider, water provider, your own cop, and your own person. Find yourself a niche of people, get it together now, make sure that you know your neighbors, find your people, and be safe out there. Miss B is going to come up with her situation. Miss B has been on runways with fashion from New York Fashion Week to San Francisco to Phoenix, overseas with her stuff. She's an amazing person. She's going to talk to you about fabrics. I hope everybody has the fabric thing in their book. If not, please team up because I think we became a little bit short. She's an amazing person. She's going to talk to you about camouflage. There are many things that you probably don't understand, and we just want to make sure that you get it. Does anybody have any questions before I pass it over to Miss B? Excellent.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Here, I got you.
Hello, everyone. I just want to greet you again because, like Rhonda said, we are so excited to see so many people to come out. And as we're sharing this to you, we are also learning as well. Pastor, I want to thank you. I know you don't know me, but I attend your morning service almost every Sabbath. I am delighted at the sermons that you're doing. Me?
She has it. Oh, this one?
Okay. Now I have two.
Three.
Three. You see how it's very important to work together as a team, because you might overlook something, but that person is looking out for you, and so they will help you. But let me go back to the pastor. I have been attending your sermons. You've been doing Romans 12. I was there last Sabbath. I enjoy all of them, but I really like this one because you were paraphrasing. You were talking about how sometimes we would need to love some people or somebody from a distance, and how you explained that you put this person on the bus and you loved him from a distance. I appreciate that, because sometimes, and he was talking a little more about coming to church, how we distance ourselves from people because the way they smell, the way they look, or what they might say. So, Pastor, I thank you. We don't know each other, but I do attend your church because I'm fascinated with you, and I especially enjoy your wife as she does the praise and worship. So I just want to thank you for allowing me to come, because I am a stranger to you. And so thank you so much. Patty, we go way back, but I haven't seen you in a long time. So I also thank you for allowing me to come. And so God has worked with every last one of us. Each one of us have a skill. And what I'm going to be talking about today is the skill that you have that you might not know that you have it. So we want to bring you out of the box a little bit. Help you to focus more on what God has given you and how to use it and not be afraid of it. Because the entire Bible talks about skills. I didn't know by me sewing was my skill. And like I said, you might have a skill and you don't know it. I've been sewing ever since I was 12 or maybe younger than that. I didn't know how God was going to use it, because when I came into the Adventist church, everybody was a singer. They played the piano. They know how to speak. And it was like, where do I fit in that program? So I felt like I was an outsider. But I would always go home and sew because that was my comfort zone. And I would just sew whether I had a program to attend or not. And because I worked on it daily, God developed it. And so this is what I'm saying to you. Whatever you love to do best is probably your talent. And if you work on it more and more, you will understand how God will use it to bring glory to his name. So that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit today. I'm going to do a little more hands-on stuff. I know a lot of you in here sew, or at least I hope you do, or you might want to check it out, learn how to do something different, because it's going to come in handy. One of my best friends, sewing machine. It doesn't talk back to me. It doesn't argue with me. I can clean it up if I want to, or I don't have to. It will take me just as I am, whether I have a pleasant attitude or I'm nasty. I can go to my friend and express how I feel. Sometimes my garments come out perfectly, and sometimes they don't. So what do? My sewing machine taught me patience, because I have to take it out. And on this journey that we are on, we're going to have a lot of patience. You heard what Rhonda explained in her presentations and the things we need to collect, the things we need to do. It's a process. Think of it as a journey. I'm going on this journey, and there's certain things that I need to get ready for, but I got to get my mind ready first, because if my mind is not ready, I'm going to have a struggle with my body. And so I'm going to be fighting. So what we're seeing in the world today, we knew that it was going to happen. God told us long before now. We should not be afraid. We should not trip out. All we need to, because one day we're going to look up and it's going to be worth every penny of it. We're going to talk about the things that you already have in your house, starting with the sewing machine. In order for me to do a project, I have to have an idea. Where the idea will come from by me praying and talking to the Holy Spirit to give me the idea. Once I get the idea, I'm excited about it. So the next thing, I want to draw it. I want to make a picture of it. I want to see what is going on. I'm going to have this conversation in my mind of what it's going to look like and how I want to put it together. It's the same thing with what we're doing now, just a different title. So once I have the idea, I've already put it onto paper. Now it's like my resources. How do I get my resources? Do I have $5 or do I have $5,000? How am I going to purchase the things that I need with my $5? Resources. Where am I going to go? One of my favorite stores is, like Rhonda mentioned, is Goodwill. Now, if you went to Goodyear's many years ago, you could get some good bargains. If you go to Goodwill today, you're going to pay a fortune. But some of the things that I'm going to show you, you're going to see Goodwill. If you want to purchase some fabrics, I'm going to use my machete as a pointer, so it's not like I come to cut you down or whatever like that, so I'm going to use it. In your handout, it talks about 10 basic fabrics. For those who sew, you understand this. For those that don't, we're going to teach you just a little bit. I can't get deep. Raw silk, linen, denim, cotton, 100% cotton, wool, burlap, Dimron. Oh, my back is turned. I'm so sorry. I want to explain a little bit about each one of these. Raw silk. Do you know you cannot, or it's very difficult to find silk in the stores today? Most of these are, I'm talking about natural fabrics now. I'm not talking about man-made polyester, and we know polyester is in everything. Everything. You want to burn up? You wear 100% polyester. Guarantee in Phoenix you gonna burn up. So we since we're talking about natural stuff and how to go and take care of this temple that God has given to us, these are fabric that will bring heat to you, or it will protect you when you're cold, and you can breathe them and you can feel comfortable in them because they're all natural fabric. There was a plan. Our first designer was God, Adam and Eve in the garden. They put a little leaf. It's a plant. We're still talking about plants today. A plant. How do you think the designers came up with all the different creativities that they're doing with the fashion today? Is from Adam and Eve's garments. And today the fashion world is about $1.7 trillion, and that was in 23. I don't know what it is now. So if you want to talk about money and fashion and how it has grown beyond what we can even imagine. And like you said, we're going to have to run with these clothes. You have to run with what you have on your back. Your cute little heels, like she mentioned, you would have turned it into a weapon. Don't throw them away. Use them as a weapon because there's going to be bugs that crawl on the ground, and there's going to be human bugs that you're going to be trying to get through in and out. And we're going to show you some of the outfits that you might be able to wear to disguise yourself to get out of the city, or if you're in the country, then it will go perfectly in the country. Okay? So just introducing, and cotton, like I said, they're all natural. This is cotton. And now look what they've done with it. Turn it into all different types of designs. Now, I'm going to go into camouflage, but I'm going to backtrack because I want you to see how it all ties in together. We're doing our research work. We're still in that project, but we're just doing our research work, collecting everything I need before I can put this outfit together. Does that make sense? Okay, now, in Arizona here, a key thing is to pay attention to where you are. Each one of us live in a different environment. Pay attention to where you are. The colors for Arizona are brown, what else? Tan, what else? Green, and a little greenish yellow or something like that. So, and a lot of people have a lot of rocks in their yards, right? Very little grass. So, if I was going to disguise myself, and I realized I have some rock fabric in my garage that I bought 3 years ago and I haven't touched it. I can make me a jumpsuit. Oh, and that's, oh, not to worry because this happened in real life. Do I panic? Or do I stay calm? And just say, okay, it'll get taken care of. That's what it's going to be like when this disaster and stuff come upon us. We should not freak out. God say, peace, be still, and know that I'm God. And so as I have my peace here, it's being taken care of, right? Why can't we be like this in real life? Why can't we trust him to realize that it's going to be all right? And it is all right. So now let me go back to it. I didn't sweat. I didn't fall out. I didn't freak out. It worked out all right. And that's what God wants us to remember as this stuff is coming upon us. Wool. I'm in Arizona. What am I going to do with a wool piece of fabric? You going to make an outfit out of it? Wool blankets, long johns, wool coat. All of the men who have been in the Army, the Navy, and all this kind of stuff with all those well-put outfits. Women, you better talk to your husband. You better bring that stuff out. And you better use it as a blanket, a sweater, because it's going to get cold. And when you're in the desert at night, sometimes it gets very, very cold. So the things that you have, think twice before you get rid of it. Sweaters that you have in your homes, socks that have holes in them. If you sew, you can sew a line across the toe. Use it and you'll have a footy. Oh. Now, once you put all your stuff together, your hats, can you come here for a minute, please? May I use this young man for a minute? If his wife is here, I just want to, can you hold that for me? I just want to let her know up front, how many belts do you have at home? That you're just so ready to take the goodwill. And they're going to sell it for at least $15. Your belt that you didn't want in your house that you gave away because you thought it was too much trash, you threw it away, and I went there and I bought it. And when I bought it, carrying stuff. I have some water. I have my pepper spray whistle. I have my pepper spray. I have my hat and whatever else I have on. These are the things you have in your house. Now I'm carrying them around with me. And when you see our young kids walking around with this stuff on there, we want to look at them and be like, ooh, why is that person wearing? They're already prepared. I'm sorry. Okay, they're already prepared. They're already ready to go. They are just not thinking the way that we would like for them to think. They're walking around with hoodies on. They are already ready to run. And here we are, they're wearing the hoodie. We better be saying, Lord, please help me to put on a hoodie so if something happens, I'm already ready to go. Don't throw those belts away. Don't throw them away. See? Thank you. Now, after I put all my, I got an idea, God gave me an idea. I drew the picture down. I got my resources. Then I went to the machine and I started working. Working, like she said, going, picking up stuff that you need for food. Now I'm working to put my outfit together, so I knew I'm going to use it one day to escape. Now, my outfit is already together. I'm excited about what I've done. I'm jumping for joy. Now I got to put it to action. Now I'm going to show you what we've done, all of this stuff, what that outfit looks like in order for me to get out of the city, or if I'm in the wilderness, for me to run where I need to go, or how I need to tip through the city so that people will not recognize me because I'm camouflaged, but still be able to get right through where I need to go, and you wouldn't even know that I was there or that I left. So at this moment, I'm going to introduce, if I'm running, let's go to the country first. If I'm in the country, I already have my house. I'm already have preparated, like Rhonda has all her stuff over here. They have all the land. So now it has gotten to the last minute where she needs to run through her jungle and she needs to hide. Now remember, this came from the idea. It came from the drawing. It came from the resources. It came from me working. Because we are working on a project to get out of the city or to be comfortable in the city, dealing with what God has given us to deal with and not feel like everybody's telling me I got to get out of the city. I got to get out of the city. We don't know where God wants us. He might say, you go, but you stay. We don't know, but all I know is that he wants us to be ready for whatever it might be. And that's why he's saying, use all your resources that you have. Now, we talk about, okay, come. Okay, we just didn't stop at one project. We got carried away. We really got carried away. People will look at, I'm going to let them walk first and then I'm going to show you.
Pockets. I love that.
This is camouflage fabric. And camouflage fabric comes in so many different types, colors, forms. So the camouflage fabric that you want to get is the one that is in your environment. I don't want to be in this environment with the green camouflage, and then I'm coming out here with this on. They're going to spot me immediately. They're going to say, oh, she's out of place. Here I'm trying to camouflage, but now I'm giving myself away. So we have to think. We have to be very careful. We have to pay attention to details. And it's all in your homes, my homes. Next. Fabrics. These are all different types of fabrics. You want to pay attention to the type of fabrics you say. Now you might say, I don't want to wear that. I can make that same outfit, raw silk, linen, denim, cotton, wool, burlap, out of every last one of them. I would get a different shape, a different way that it would flow, and still make a statement on getting, not just getting out of the city, just going in and out, just surviving. Now, Rhonda talked about a suitcase. What if I don't have a suitcase? What if I don't have the stuff to put in a suitcase? Now, if you notice, each one of, come close up. Each one of these outfits has pockets. If I need to carry my important papers, my medicine, my personal items, first aid kits, whatever, open your coats. There's enough pockets on the inside that you can carry as much as you can. Rhonda also mentioned about not letting mom carry all the work. You will have a coat for each person that's in your house. So whatever you can't get into your coat will go into the next coat, because the temperature of the weather is going to drop. So you will have your coat already on you. You will be warm. You'll have your matches in your pocket or your flashlight, whatever. So as you're running, you're being warm at the same time, and everybody will carry their own stuff, because we're thinking out of the box. We're thinking about what I cannot do, turn it into what I can do, and be happy and be all right with it, and not put a burden on us, because this stuff is intense. If you sit there and think about all the stuff, what they're saying is going to take place and what has been written in the Bible, we will self-destruct our own self. We don't have to run anywhere. We don't have to pack anything. I'll be so exhausted. God said, whatever you do, do with a willing heart and a pleasant attitude. So let's turn this into something positive. He said, be happy and joyful. So if I'm going to be happy and joyful, okay, Lord, you got to give me the strength. And you said I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So if you said it, I can do it. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be cheerful, and I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing, because it's a project. But I like this project. And even if I don't like this project, help me to get me in the right place. My mind will be in the right place where I can do it and still be content. And you will be all right with your child, because he knows each and every last one of us. Now, this particular outfit, not only are there pockets on the inside, there's pockets on the outside. Now, hold this one, please. Women, we're going to have to take weapons as well. We can't leave everything up to the men to come in here and cut that bear down, or let that rat run over in the corner. I can't step on that ant. We're going to have to muscle up. If you don't know how to use a machete, go buy one in Walmart for $5, practice. Just swing, make sure there's nobody around you, and swing and practice. Because we're going to have to shape up for some things. Now, when it's time to run, I'm not going to leave my machete home. I'm going to take it with me, because I can put all this stuff on my outfit and I can go. Go back to your natural fabrics. Now, unfortunately, her pockets are underneath. Women, we love pockets. They don't give us enough pockets. We will put everything in a pocket. We'll get confused because we won't know what pocket we put that particular item in, but we know we have it. And we'll feel safe. She has all her pockets as well. You will never be alone without having a pocket somewhere. Your old clothes that you have at home. I know we want to help people and we want to give things away, but watch what you're giving away. If you can sew, you're going to add those pockets to those outfits. Thinking out of the box, being creative. And if you look around, God created everything. Not simple things, but extraordinary things. And he wants us as his people to think the same way and do the same thing. We can. So when you go home, look at your homes. I know some of you have some gems up in there. Look at them with different eyes. Look at them with a different perspective. You'll be amazed what you will come up with. Blue jeans. People in Arizona love blue jeans. Okay, you good. Thank you, ladies. People in Arizona love blue jeans. They will wear blue jean shorts, blue jean jackets. You name it, long as it has denim on it, they're going to purchase it. So if you think you might want to run in your denim outfit, you can do the exact same thing. Just dress it up with AI doing it. The fashion world is so out there today than what it ever has been. We have everybody that wants to be a designer now. We have everybody that wants to be a model now. Because they have what we call wearable art. It's art that you have put into fabrics. It's art that you put into an outfit. Now, if some of you have a garden, a vineyard with grapes, and something happens, all you have to do is throw your coat on and go out and stand by the grapevine. They won't even recognize you. The only way they will recognize you is if you move. If you move, or if you have your jewelry on, some of us have a little jewelry, whatever, take it off. Because the light will reflect it and you'll be caught. Now, you might say, well, I'm just a regular person in the city. I know a lot of women do not like to wear pants. And that's all right too. They want to wear a skirt. For whatever reason, they're going to church, but they want to wear a skirt. Can I get some help again? See, I'm all right. See how helpless I am? And a lot of us, we are helpless. So I need some help. But I'm not afraid to ask for some help. So if I don't know my neighbor across the street and I need some help, I'm going to go knock on the door. Because like she said, we need to work together as a team. Since we're in a war, and I just don't want to get shot down, somebody come and check me out. So, if I don't like wearing pants, it's all right. Now I have on a skirt. I can go and do my shopping, go to church, whatever. I'm done. And I'm appropriate. Now, if I need to run to the mountains, can I get my same helper again? Thank you so much. Now, if I need to run to the mountains or to the hills, same pants. Oh, you can't see? Oh, I'm so sorry. But you see what I'm doing? I'll just wrap it around once to save time, because there's one thing about, there's two things in life we can depend on, a change and time. And so by me doing this, how much time have I wasted trying to wrap a rope around my pants so I can get out of town as quickly as I can? All this stuff is going to have to be quick. Same outfits, because we're not going to be able to change 5 or 6 times. We're going to wear that outfit until it drops off. So if I want to look different as I'm doing certain things, I can do it in that one outfit. And I'm looking like I'm sorry, over here. I didn't forget you guys. I'm so sorry. But get same outfit. And I have my pockets. I only have 2 pennies, but I have a pocket to put them in. But you see, and my jacket will be just the same. Pockets. I'm ready to go. I didn't put forth a whole lot of effort. Simple things that we take for granted, that's in our homes, that we have been blessed with. He just wants us to come out of the box. Stop spending so much money because you have treasures in your home. The same time that you spend on doing something that we probably should not be doing, because I do it too, I can sew a button on an outfit 5 minutes. I don't have to complete it all in one day. but I just need to get started. And that's what it is for what we're dealing with. Yes, we wasted a lot of time. We have. But when we pray and ask God, He'll give us that. Because like I said, you know what's going on. We're in a jungle. And we don't know what animal is going to jump out at us. But when they do, we can jump back because we'll be ready too. And they have animal outfits. Now, somebody might say, well, for those of you who work in the yard, because you're going to plant all your food and stuff that you have over here. You're going to look like a flower while you're working in your yard. And while you're working, you're going to have your pockets to put all your things you need, your telephone. We know that there's certain things that we as women should be carrying on us every day. There's cayenne pepper, charcoal. What's the other one? I'm so excited now I can't think. And that's what happened to us when all this stuff is going on. We get so excited, so much is going on, we can't think, we lose our thought. So when that happens, you pull back, you relax, and you go again. That's how simple all this can be, but with a time frame and in a hurry. You have knee pads in your pants. So if you need to sit down and get on your knees to pray while you're in the garden, it's all right. You're ready to go anyway, because that's how it goes. And don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid to look strange. God said we're special. We're unique. Don't you know our young people will wear this on the street and call it fashion? And they have their medicine, whatever else they carry, it's on you. Plus my pockets here, plus my boots, plus my phone, whatever it is, I'm ready. All I have to do is turn my head around the other way. It's really that simple. Growing the food in the garden. For those who want to get out of the city. For those of us where we are in the city. For whatever that project might be. If we have the right attitude, the right mindset, it will work. But we must be comfortable with whatever the choice is that we have, that the Holy Spirit has given us, and not to do it out of fear. Because God didn't give us that fearness. So, you know what your project is. You know what you want to do. You know what you're not going to do. But He doesn't want us to play with our own imagination, to play with our own minds. This is serious stuff. I might be talking and making it seem like it's like, this is serious stuff. Our enemy, or let's say the wickedness of the system, their imagination is so way out there, so far gone, it will blow our minds. But God doesn't want it to blow our minds. We are supposed to be the wisest people on this earth. And we have to take that and use it with everything we have. My mannequin said, the struggle is real. We know it's real. Some of us want to accept it and some of us don't want to accept it. But it's where we are at this moment, because it's only a season. And it's what we do with that season at this time. Going back to those who sew, there's a remnant after every time you've cut out your fabric, your outfit, it's there. What do you do with your scraps? You don't throw them away. You get an old pair of pants that you have in your home that you've had for 30 years. You take those scraps and you sew them all around the pants. And when you finish, you have a rugged look that they'll call it high fashion. For you to be survival. is how we look at things and what we do with what we have. My last project, oh, I'm so sorry again. But this is so important. You see how he jumped up? He did it with a willing heart and a pleasant attitude. We were working together. He doesn't know me, and I don't know him. Did he ask it, well, what's your name? No, that's what it's going to take during this emergency time. Whether you know me or not, there's a need. Okay, now, I got so excited. What was I going to do? Well, I have to talk about this. What is my time? I don't know what my time is. Is it at 4? Well, how?
It's 4:30.
Okay, please let me know. Now, everybody has, oh, not this one. Everybody has aluminum foil. Radiation. Aluminum foil. I know you've heard of this. Now, all these chemicals and stuff that comes from our cell phone, get you some burlap fabric, 100% cotton, line it with aluminum foil, make you a pouch, put your phone in it, then get rid of some of these waves that are coming from who knows where, and you'll be all right. Now, let's think out of the box. My hat, you stay right there. All of these hats that our husbands have purchased, that wives, you're ready to get rid of them because you're sick of looking at them and you've given them away to so many friends. You're going to take those caps, because there's probably 15 people in your family. You're going to cut off the hood. Then you're going to have just the flat part of the hat. Okay? Once you take this off, then you just have that little beamer. You're going to take your aluminum foil. You're going to cover it. We're talking about, because they're going to drop some kind of chemicals and stuff from the air, and which are going to try to kill us right off the top, because they want to get to the mind first, because that's how the enemy works, right? Let me destroy your mind first, and then the rest of you is already gone. So you're going to take this aluminum foil. You're going to cover this cap, because now it's a beamer. Is that correct? And so once you cover it, that's going to be your protection. Now, you won't be able to get very far, but you will be able to get to a little hiding place. And once you get there, you feel like you're safe for 2 minutes, right? But it's fine instead of just dropping on your head right and you're passing out at that moment. So once you do that, I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's going to look like this. That's what that little cap is going to do, and it's going to protect you for a little bit. I don't know if everybody can see. Can you see the little silver part here? That's what you've taken off of that hat. Once you cover it, now, a lot of us do gardening, so you're going to go to the dollar store, or you're going to go to Walmart, and you're going to pick up this little hat cover here, which you put your plants in. You're out there digging in your garden to protect it, right? Now, I took some burlap. One thing about burlap is almost the same type of fabric that they use in the Bible as sackcloth. Burlap is my favorite fabric. Most people don't like to use it because it's rough. And if you put it against your body, it's going to itch and scratch. That's why in the wintertime, you notice that a lot of people use burlap to cover up their fabric or their trees, their plants, because it's durable and it protects. And our ancestors used to wear burlap in the olden days because it was a repentant fabric. Whenever they had sinned, made a mistake, they would put on burlap to repent and ask for forgiveness. So that's why I use burlap today as outfits. Can I get one model, please? I just want to throw this on, because I want to show you what burlap is. Burlap is almost like linen once you do the process to it. It's a process, but everything else we do is a process. Oh, you can take your hat off, sweetie. This is burlap. For those of you who say, burlap, I want you to, come see. And most of you know burlap is hard and rough, right? And you can walk around, and I want you to feel this burlap. Just feel it. Because that's the burlap that I have put underneath this hat. What the process that I do for the burlap, I wash it first. After I wash it, I use water and peppermint to spray it as I'm pressing it. Once I do that, then you have to line burlap, because if you don't, that's where the itching part comes in. So when you line it, it takes it to another level. It protects you in the wintertime and the summertime. This is a fabric that you can wear all year round. It doesn't matter. That's why it's my #1 fabric. So as she's doing that, I covered my hat with the burlap. Now, if I'm running, I just can't have that because I'll be spotted. So we put the flowers on it as to camouflage it. So as I'm working in the yard, or if I'm running, I have on my hat. So what's falling will fall on my head, but my head is protected. So I can get next door without dropping down. But once I get next door, because all those chemicals are in this hat, I have to get rid of it, because if I don't, I can still be destroyed immediately. This is just from aluminum foil. We all have aluminum foil. It doesn't matter whether you use the shiny side or the dull side. It's going to serve the same purpose. Stuff in our homes. Simple stuff. Now, there's a fabric. There's fabric that has copper in it, lead. They're hard to get. The people knew what they were doing. They knew what we were going to need in order to help us to survive the things. They knew it because they did their homework. So that's why it's so hard to get what we need now, or we have to pay a gigantic price for it. And then I don't want it. It costs too much. Now this fabric, we're going to have to give you a gift. Dimrod. This fabric has copper. I hope everybody can see it. This is the fabric that the military use to make their suits, their hats, whatever it is, because it's so thick and it protects you. Now, if I put this in my hat, I can go further than I can with the aluminum foil. You can make suits out of this. You can put this in your suit and you can wear it around with you. It can become a lining. All of this stuff is available to us. The same outfit as this blue jean over here, I could line that entire outfit with this. And my body is protected. In the olden days, China, when they made their vest plate, they used 30 yards of silk for a vest. 30 yards of silk. And now we can't even get silk. So you think the enemy didn't know that? God wants us to be wise. And this is just introducing us to let you know you're sitting on a gold mine in your homes. Look at it from a different perspective. Look at it from different eyes. Your boots, your shoe. Oh my goodness. Okay, some of us going to have to run at some point, right? Now, back in the day, if you ran, you need to get rid of your footprints, right? So that people would know that it was a human being. Okay, I think I can take it from here now. Thank you. I think I can. They had to get rid of their footprints, right? Now, sometimes I just have to laugh to myself, help myself. You have some funny shoes at your home. Your kids have some funny looking things. As you're running, you don't want people to know that, oh, that's a human footprint. Oh, now we know where to go and we know how to get it right. You better throw some funny looking something on your feet. And you better track while you're going. This is just to give you I'm trying to get you to think out of the box. We're creative people. Oh, the mic. He wants us to think out of the box. That's not all. We take care of our yards. How many of you know what this is or what it looks like? Grass, fake grass. And then they have the real grass. Now, I don't have anything fancy in my house to put on my feet to get away with. How many of you have ribbons, bows, shoestrings? Everybody can see me. They won't know if I was an animal or human or whatever because they won't be able to identify my footprint. And I put a cute ribbon on it, so I'm feminine. So I still want to look cute, even if I'm running, or even if I'm working in the garden, I still want to be cute. I still want to have my pride. I still want to feel like I'm somebody. So surviving with a flair. But I'm still getting the job done. A major thing about camouflage, I'm almost done, is that as we doing the camouflage, like I said, we cannot have on anything that shines because it will pick up. I can be all camouflage, decked out, but I can't move. Because if I move, they will spot me. Go back and look at the things that the people did in the Army. They used camouflage all the way back then, World War I, World War II. They were feeding us and giving us information that we did not take like we should have because we were thinking everything was going to be all right. Many of your husbands have been in the war. Please sit down and talk to him. Please allow him to share some information with you that will you'll have no idea. Have open ears, have a better understanding, because the tools that he has learned, the tools that they have taught him, are the very same tools that we're going to need today to survive and where we are. Appreciate your husbands. Enjoy them. Love on them. And they'll give you all the information. Because we need it. We have to work together as a team. All his old suits, don't give them away. Throw some flowers on them. Go out and get some of those branches in your backyard. Glue rocks on them. Whatever you think that doesn't make sense, it's what makes sense. And I was talking to Rhonda because we've been on this journey for a long time. Obedient to us sometimes is not the same as obedient to God. So we take that, we run with it, and it's just so much more stuff, but you got enough. If I was sitting in your seat, I would say, oh my goodness, I've had enough. We appreciate that. We understand that. Look at your wisdom, knowledge, understanding, discernment, and insight. We need it to get through this jungle. We are in a spiritual battle. Everything that God has told us has happened. Some of us have known this for years. Now that it's happening, we want to act surprised. He's looking at us, the angels are looking at, what's wrong with them? He wants us to represent him well. And we can do it. We can do it. So I'm gonna stop here because I could go on and on and on. But remember, the first designer was our Heavenly Father. From a fig leaf to loincloth, the fashion world has made a fortune. Thank you. Please like thank you. Oh, see, I need more help.
Here we go again.
Oh, mercy. Okay.
Here we go again. We're thankful that you guys all, I need the other microphone.
Oh, you see, when you make a mistake, you mess up, you don't freak out, you don't panic. You just give it to them.
Yeah, hand it over. Thank
That's
you.
how we work together.
We do work together. We're thankful that you came here. I have a few more drawings. We know that you are going to get better prepared because you came here. You have an interest in it. And because you have an interest in it, I want you to realize that somebody is counting on you. Someone. Whether it's a homeless person, you're giving them a bottle of water to and a tract. Whether it's your neighbor that needs help, or elderly. Whether it's your child that needs to learn how to tie his shoe. But as things get more and more intense in this world, people are going to need more and more of you. And we want to be giving, loving, and be the hands and feet of Jesus Christ. And stand up for him for somebody that's in need. There is so much more I could have told you. You can see all of this stuff up here. I'm going to give you a couple more tidbits. When you have your bar of soap that you throw away, don't throw it away. I've been collecting my soap buddies for years, and they're in this sock. There was a kid that was probably 12 years old that wanted to help the homeless, and he started collecting all the soap buddies from the hotels that were thrown away, and he would collect and collect and collect and collect them. Hygiene is going to be one of those things you're going to wish you paid really more attention to and didn't throw things away and take advantage of. He took the little bars of soap. I've been collecting these for a long time before I watched this kid do this on Shark Tank, and he boils them in water. So yesterday, I hit the thrift store and I bought a grinder because I didn't want to bring my big one that I use at home. But you can grind that soap up in like one of these old antique meat grinders and get them into little pebbles or pellets, whatever you want to call that, and then put them in a kettle and add some water and boil it down. Just boil it and boil it and boil it until it starts to become thick and sticky, like if you were going to make soap. And then put it into something with parchment paper so that you have a cake of soap. We're so accustomed to throwing things away because we don't need it anymore because we can just go to the store and get something else. There's going to be a time when I really want to have something or help somebody else out, and that's one way of doing that. Another thing that I want to talk to you about is medicine. I have horses. And so I go to the feed stores quite often to get different things, whether it's ivermectin because I have to get that for my horses every so often, or different things for my horses. And I have found, my father was a veterinarian, so we did a lot of different things because he was a large animal vet. And one of the things that you can find at the feed stores in town, or you used to, now they kind of put it where you have to be monitored, is antibiotics. And I know we're not big antibiotic people, blah, 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 but there's going to be a time that you need antibiotics. And this is called fish biotic. So it's for your fish tank. And you can buy antibiotics that you use for yourself. Remember, my father was a vet. And you can get it in fish pen, fish amoxicillin, and they're 500 milligram. That's when you go to the doctor, they give you 500 milligrams. And you can also buy them in 250 milligram. And you can buy them over the counter. You don't have to go to your doctor and get that prescription and pay that extra money. You can go straight to the feedlot and pick those up. So I would recommend that maybe you think about having that in your staple of your your medicine cabinet, because sometimes when there is no hospital available, and that is a life-changing thing, it would be something that you have. Another thing I purchased is blood stop powder. You can buy this online. When people have profuse blood problems or whatever, you can't get to a doctor or whatever, you need to stop doing that right now because they're having a problem and there's no doctor to go to. And because the hospital are not the place you really want to go because things have changed, you might want to buy this. You can buy this online too. Stop blood powder. Antibiotic cream is something you can get. I buy off-brand stuff because it's cheap, and I buy enough so I can hand it out so that I'm helping people. I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem, and help different people. And that goes as far as getting calamine lotion. I buy stuff that we had as kids because that stuff never stops working. It worked when I was a kid, opposed to buying all the fancy stuff that costs 2 and 3 times as much. Calamine lotion is great stuff. So does Campho-Phenique. That's another wonderful thing. This is a fire starter, a whistle, and a knife sharpener I'm going to be giving away when Mr. Beyreis draws something. I have a few more giveaways, and that's why I'm keeping you here, and then we're going to let you go. Got you loose. Just pull it out. Who is it? Gloria G. Gloria G. That's what it says. She left. Do you know her? Who does? Give it to her. Give it to her. Okay, so I've got some dehydrated onions. I'm giving food away because food really is my passion, whether you know it or not. I've been in the kitchen since I was 8 years old, and I cooked for a family of 10, and it was my torture chamber as a child. But God took what I hated and He created it into something that I love now. And it was my torture chamber. Man, scrutiny. Okay, we've got Mary Russo. This is dehydrated onions. Rhonda's the name. You have one. Who is it? We have D. Bowers, or Bowers. I have an onion that I grew and an artichoke seeds inside the little artichoke for you. If you plant the seeds in a pot, artichokes grow huge, so you put it in a big pot or put it in your yard. Stuff that we've grown. I have a vegetarian, yes, it's vegetarian, yes. Marinara sauce. I made this out of my own tomato garden, and it's delicious. Who is it? Johnny Taylor. That's like a movie star name. Johnny Taylor. Going once, going twice, draw a name. Oh, you? Oh, is that the guy? Oh, okay. She's like, no. There you go. One of the things I did, I took a class with a doctor. This used to be on social media. It was a puncture kit. And so I had a doctor come over, and a friend and I took a class with him, and we bought this. It's a suture kit. And so we learned, you're a doctor, right? There you go. We learned how to do sutures with this suture kit. And this looks like skin. And it's something to practice on because we don't know what our talents are, what we got to do. And so I would recommend, if you ever have a chance to learn stuff like this, somebody in your group needs to be on top of stuff. I don't, my dad was a doctor, but I did things like help him pull a pig out of a sow or stuff like that. I never learned how to sew and do stuff that he did, but I did take a class and learn how to do that. This is stuff that you can do. And then I want to talk about whites, and then I want to talk a little bit about medicine. I would like to show you an ether light, and I would like you to write this down. Ether, Eterna, E-T-E-R-N-A light.com. And the reason I want you to listen to me about this light is because when I lived in the city, I purchased these lights for my house. And these lights are incredible. See this light bulb? It screws into your lamp. See that? It's got solar all the way around it, so while it's in your lamp, you use your light switch and it's working for you when the power is on. When the power goes off, it's still sitting in your lamp. But then there's a piece that goes to it that connects to this, and you screw it on. It's got a hook, and you hit the button, and now your lamp is still working. Do you see this? There are things that are out there that will help you in a time of trouble. You can also stick this outside if the power never goes back on and it becomes a lamp. Lots of solar lights are really, really impressive these days, are they not? I mean, we're blessed because lamps, lights, we can get anything out of a solar now than we ever could before. We can think about just getting white lights, having lights, flashlights, things like that. These are solar lights that, you know, they can go out and string in your yard or whatever. You can bring them in the house. You can get those individual lights, put them outside during the day, bring them in the house at night, and you've got lights. One thing I want to encourage you is to think about getting tarps or heavy blankets or heavy curtains. If you remember back in the 70s, we had these really heavy curtains that kept the cold out and kept the sunlight, you know, all these things that we used to have back in the day. Those are blackout curtains. When you go to the hotel, you have blackout curtains, right? When you're the only one with lights and things going on in your neighborhood, you want to have blackout curtains or things on your windows, or tinfoil or whatever, to keep that light in and not shine out. Because you might be the only one that's got it going on with your network of people, and there are other people that are out there looking for you. So you really want to be smart on how you do things. Always have a way to protect your property. I bought these cameras that are called barn owls. You see those now on social media, all over. If you're on social media, barn owl cameras. Do these cameras that you buy that are connected to the internet are connected to the system, right? Think about your little camera thing, and now the police department know about it, and you know, they're all watching and monitoring everything you got, and it seems like it's a safe place to be. Barn owl cameras are not connected to the internet. They're connected to a service, and they're not connected like the regular cameras. And as you're monitoring your house, somebody's monitoring you. Think about that. Let me say that again. As you're monitoring your house, somebody's monitoring you. With barn owl, that is not the case. Get plenty of medicine. When COVID hit, I found these two ladies, this mother and daughter team, and they were down on their knees at Walmart. And I'm like, what are y'all doing down there? What is so important down there? And they're like, this mucus relief, we're buying this. It's 88 cents. Really? Well, what is it? So I started to look into what it was, and the product that's inside this, I can't really pronounce it. It's gufacine. Come on, Doc, what is that? Anyway, that product keeps you from coughing. These were 88 cents, and so I started looking at this product, and when people get sick, they cough and cough and cough and cough and cough. You notice people coughing all the time now. This keeps you from coughing. When I get into a group like this, I pop this so I'm not catching whatever. There's a lot of different things that I pop before I come into a crowd. This is one of the main things. I think one of the problems we're going to have is our lungs. Lungs seem to be getting attacked more and more, and you'll notice that even in yourself or your kids. This helps with the lungs. So I just want you to, it's called mucus relief, and it's from Wally World. Spirit 360 is the company, but when I saw those two ladies, I mean, they were gathering it all up. I'm like, oh, I want one. Okay, we'll give you one. It's like, okay, thanks. And then I started to look into it, and that was really important. The other thing is the ThyroSafe. This is something in case radiation hits. This is something you want to, everybody needs to have this in their arsenal. Every person, ThyroSafe, safe. This is going to help you in case of radiation hitting in the cities. A gygometer will also help you know what's radiation, what's not. This is how you block the thyroid from getting nailed with radiation. When you buy a BioSafe, they give you, it's called potassium iodine. They give you these that come with the mask or with the suits, because that's how important it is. But you can also buy this particular product off of the internet. And I would recommend that everybody pay attention to that. Yes, ma'am. Thyrosafe. They're potassium iodine tablets. It's very, very, right now, important to have that in your arsenal. I have other things here, like these are night vision binoculars. It's good to have different things in your stuff because you don't know what's coming down your neighborhood or what's not. And I'm an overachiever, as you probably can see. I get stuff and I make sure that I know what I'm doing and I use it and I practice, and that's what I want you to think about. What is it that you're going to acquire? You've made that decision by coming here today and to partake in what we're doing. What is it that you're going to acquire today? And as the steps go throughout this year, while you can, because central bank digital currency is on its way, monitoring what you can and can't buy is coming soon. And so I want you to prepare now what you can with your little pennies, what you have at your fingertips. This is the time to prepare. Prepare, don't be scared, be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Bea and I want to thank you for coming here today. I would like to have prayer for you.
Is this available to watch online? I see your recording.
Yes, we'll give you that information. Very good, Heavenly Father, Almighty God. We come before you, Lord, as your little children, first and foremost asking for forgiveness for the time that we wasted or the things that we didn't really think were important. But we know, Lord, that we want to be our brother's keeper. We want to be part of the solution, helping many people that you bring to us. Being loving and kind and prepared and helping is really the way to be, to stand in the gap for you. We thank you, Lord, that we could come here and Bea and I could speak, and that the pastor would even allow us to come in and talk to you, to your people. We know that you're coming soon, but before you come, we've got to go through some challenges. And those challenges are going to be some tough on us in our minds and to play tricks on us. AI is out there lying to us, and we don't know what's real and what's not. Help us to stay in your word, Lord. Help us to understand what you have for us so that we understand what our part is in this play. The whole universe is watching us and cheering us on. Let us know that we are not alone and that your Holy Spirit will guide us. Let us hear your still small voice. Help us to prepare. Help our families to be ready. Be with our children and our children's children that don't know you. Help our families gather together. When people are so distant and separated, they don't understand the gift that you've given each one of us and that we're not utilizing it. Be with the brokenness. We thank you, Lord, for the love you have for us. We know that you are coming, and we want to see you come in the eastern sky where we can say, lo, here is our God. We have waited for you. Please don't leave us behind. We do not want to waver and flounder and get off track. Satan is a liar, and we rebuke him in the name of Jesus Christ.
In the name of
In
Jesus.
Jesus' precious, precious holy name, I pray. You give us wisdom, understanding. You give us eyes to see, ears to hear, so that we know that we hear you saying, walk this way, and we will not flounder in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.